Hello, dear friends. New Signs and Old. It's the channel. My name is Jacob, and welcome to my take on the Rob Walker Vinyl Tag 2024. Always fun to do, and as always, thank you to Rob for settling on these 20 questions that we all of us answer with great delight, I would imagine. Let's go straight into it. Favorite record purchased in 2023? Well, I didn't do many videos last year, to be fair and to be honest, and therefore I did also not do a favorite album list of 2023. But this was my favorite album of last year. Most of you will not know this artist. This is a Danish singer called E.G. This is the lady here. She's called Emma, but her artist name is E.G. This is the album She Wrecks, her second album. And this was my favorite album of last year. The artist, well, not the artist that I listened the most to, I'll get back to that later, but one of the artists that I listened to the most last year. This is pop with um, inspiration from 70s pop, from 80s pop, and it's just it's just a great album. She is such a good songwriter. So check out E.G. The album is She Wrecks, and that will be my favorite purchase of last year. Let me just find out where I'm gonna put these records. I'm just gonna put them there. So the last record I bought in 2023, and I'm gonna probably lose a lot of viewers already now. The last record I bought last year is this one. Yeah, David Hasselhoff, Looking for Freedom, 12-inch German pressing. I'm in Denmark, so German pressing is not that uncommon. But yeah. So why on earth did I buy this song? Well, I have I have a love relationship with the song. I was 12. I was 11 when it came out. I think 11 or 12 when it came out. No, I was 12. And there was just something about this song, and knowing Hasselhoff from back then, I guess Knight Rider. I thought Knight Rider was a cool show, and then this song, which just blew up in Germany, and some will say that David Hasselhoff single-handedly tore down the Berlin Wall. I might be one of them. Forget about Gorbachev. Forget about Reagan. No, sorry, George Bush Senior. David Hasselhoff tore down the wall in Berlin with this song. And this is so kitsch that it's awful and it's good. And I do a monthly music quiz at the local concert hall, and this is our theme song for that quiz. This is the last song that we play before the quiz starts, and everyone, well, most people are enjoying themselves and clapping along and singing along and dancing and so on. So they know this is going to be good because we're playing Hasselhoff. But this is the last record I bought in 2023, and I'm so thrilled to have it. The 12-inch version, which features a maxi version vocal. So it's like 7 minutes of Hasselhoff. What more can you ask for? Yeah, I know. The band, or I'll show a band or singer who released two or more albums in the same year. I'll do you one better. Um, how about 5 albums in 1 year and all released on the same day? This is the British project called SAULT, SAULT, which is normally a R&B, soul, funk, sort of hip hop act, and they've released, I think, over 3 years, they've released like 12 or 13 albums or so. These 5 ones came out in 2022 on streaming, and then last year they were all released on vinyl. This is the album called 11. It's not they're not named after what number they are. Their first album was called 5. Their third album was called 7, so or 9. I can't remember now. This is the album called Air with 2 eyes. So first one is just pure soul funk thing. This Air is an EP, if you will. It's classical music. It's choral music with a symphony orchestra. And this is a follow up to an album called Air with One Eye that they released the year before in 2021. So this is an EP, classical music, choral, a big choir singing. This one is called, I think, oh, I forget the titles. Tomorrow and Today, I think. This is not really a good album, to be honest with you. This features, sounds like it features a band of kids playing and some kids singing as well. It's not really their best work. Then there is this one. This is called Untitled God. And this is a double album of songs, very religious songs. I don't really care about religion or God for that matter, but it's beautiful music. And then finally, there's an album called Earth, which is also R&B and pop. Oh yeah, there's a soccer game on my computer. Oh, soccer? Did I say soccer? There's a football game on my computer in the background. Not soccer, football. So Earth, Salt. Yeah, so 5 albums in one day. That's an achievement, if there ever was one. So next question. If you could only listen to music from one decade, which would you choose? I'm a kid of the 90s, so I would choose the 90s, and I'm going to show one album that I absolutely adore from the 90s. This is Jeff Buckley and his album Grace, released in 1994. Sadly, as you know, he passed away the year after, or was it 95 or 96? Maybe it was even 97, I don't recall anymore, but he was recording the follow-up album to Grace. Jeff Buckley, of course, the son of Tim Buckley. But the 90s would be my choice of decade with the favorite music, because those formative years in our teenage years, that's where I think that's where most of us discover the most music. So that would be my choice for a decade. Then number 5, show a record by a band or a singer from Manchester. And I had to, obviously, because Rob Walker is from the greater Manchester area. We're not, and no one is saying Oldham because he doesn't want to hear that. I looked up bands from Manchester because I'm not good with cities the bands are from, and obviously a lot to choose from. Joy Division, which some of you already picked, New Order, um, Happy Mondays, Elbow, which is one of my favorite bands, Morrissey, The Smiths, and so on. But looking through the list of bands from Manchester, I stumbled across The Fall, with the ever so lovely Mark E. Smith in the foreground, um, and this is their 2007 album, Post TLC Reformation. A great album, and I think it's also, this is an original pressing. This has not been reissued, I believe. I think this might be worth a good sum of money. But The Fall is a very underrated band. I think not not too many people know about it, and they really should, because they were such an amazing band. They released a shitload of albums over 40 years, and they are, I think, the band with the most members, um, most ex-members, I would imagine. I think there's a book written about where a journalist goes to I think in the 2000s, went back to find each and every person who used to be in the Fall, just to have a chat with them about how they left the band. Not, I think maybe some of them even quit the band, but primarily they were kicked out by Mark E. Smith because I think he was a tough bandmate. But The Fall, a great Manchester band. Okay, show 7-inch singles. I will. This is Madonna, everybody. The special UK version that is hard to find, rare and expensive, and so on. Back with an Everybody dub version. One of the treats of my collection. I don't know why, but I saw this in the row or in the stack of 7-inch singles, and I had to show this one. This is Ian Duran, the Blockheads, Hit Me With Your Rhythm Stick, Hit Me. Yeah, Je t'adore, ik liebe dich. Great song by a great man. I'm a big fan of soul, funk, and disco. I had to choose Earth, Wind, and Fire, September. Following that with another, well, a disco classic, if you will, Chic, I Want Your Love. Such a good song. And then some newer ones. All the records are falling down now. Bear with me a second. There we go. New one. Gina Maka, who is a Danish singer who usually does like this Nordic indie folky pop music, but this one, Something in the Way You Move. If you were able to find this on the streaming services and so on, do it. This is a great funk, soul, kind of disco flavored pop song. Such a good song, and it's signed by Gina, and it's a limited number 122 of 200. Yeah, such a great song. Bought it at a show. Then this one, which I got very recently. This is Bacau Rhythm and Steel Band. This is a German band that plays oil drums, I think it's called. And this is their cover version of 50 Cent's song P.I.M.P. Pimp. So if you know that song, I don't know what you wanted from me. So if you imagine that without the vocals and instead people playing oil drums, amazing. Check out Bacau Steel and Rhythm Band. They have several albums released. And then finally, this is also one that just came in. Originally, these songs are from 2010, I believe. This is Frente Cumbiero, which is a project from Colombia. And this is versus the Mad Professor, who also remixed some Massive Attack albums in the past. And the songs are La Boca Chico and Bestiales 77, which I don't know how to say that in Spanish. This is cumbia mixed with North African rhythms and grooves and clarinets and stuff. It's so good. Check out Frente Cumbiero. Question number 8. Who is coming to your party? I think I have my albums stacked in the wrong way. Anyways, 4 people alive or dead coming to your party. I'm gonna choose 4 very lively people, very musically brilliant minds. Marcos Valle, the great guy from Brazil. Look at that cover. Wouldn't you want him to mix you a drink? I know I would. He has all the colorful drinks in the world right there. Marcos Valle, great Brazilian singer. This is a boogie masterpiece from 1983, self-titled. I would choose Fela Kuti because he would have some stories to tell about all of his troubles with the government in Nigeria. And musical genius. I would choose a more current artist, Kendrick Lamar, who I don't listen to much hip hop, but he is a freaking genius. This album is a free jazz record in my mind. It's such a good album. And then finally, just to completely burn the house down, this is also a person that Rob himself picked, but Grace Jones. Those 4 people in a room together, I think that I would just be very scared and leave, to be honest with you. I don't think that I would dare to be in that room with those 4 people. We lost them. One musician who passed away in 2023, Tony Bennett. I don't have any of his solo albums on vinyl. I only have the albums he did with Lady Gaga, but those are amazing as well. Lady Gaga is a brilliant jazz singer, but Tony Bennett, that really hit hard. I mean, he was old and he had been sick for a long time. Yeah, it's one of the greatest voices ever in music. And we miss him. We definitely do. So imagine you could listen to music from only one country. which country would it be? I think that in my vinyl and CD collection, I, like most people, I would think, have. Um, I think if you if you do the math, if you do the statistic of how much of the music in my collection would be from either the US or the UK, it would be, I don't know, 60, 70, maybe 70%. But I wouldn't choose any of those countries. I would choose maybe Brazil. But after thinking about it, because there's so much good Brazilian music, but honestly thinking about it, I would choose my own country, Denmark, because we have such a great, creative, amazing music scene. And I picked up this record here from the band Papir, which is the Danish word for paper. This is their fourth album entitled Four. And they are a instrumental psych kraut rock trio. And if you don't know Papir, Papir, check them out if you're into psych kraut, noisy songs that go on for 20 minutes. This is right up your alley. But yeah, Denmark would be the country that I would choose. We have so much good music here. So name 3 VC channels that you discovered in 2023. I've been watching so little, so few videos in the VC. I really have not found the time to do it. I will mention one channel that I came across this year, Play Vinyl in the Milky Night. It's a channel that I came across, and he, like myself, has a great love for the music of the band Stereolab. Hence the title of his channel, because Stereolab have an album called Stereolab Music in the Play Music in the Milky Night, I think it's called. Yeah. So that is one channel that I want to mention, and to think of 2 others, I'm sorry, but I can't. I will, however, be watching a lot more videos from the VC this year. So, show a record you bought when you were a teenager. How about this one? Iron Maiden, Live at Donington, triple album, limited edition. This is rare as hell, and this goes for quite a bit of money. I really don't have a valuable collection. I'm showing you the 2-3 pieces in my collection that are actually worth something. But Iron Maiden Live at Donington, this was released after Fear in the Dark. I think 1993. Fear of the Dark. Sorry, that was 92 or 93. So this was released after that, and it's a great live album, triple live album. So yeah, and I got this when it came out. Yeah, and I was a teenager. Yeah, I must have been doing the math in my head. Show a funk or soul record. I'm gonna show you this one. Sorry about the glare again. The shrink wrap is still on here. This is the album Eyes of Love from the band The Edge of Daybreak. This is a release on Numero Group. The original was released in, I think, only about, I don't know, not even 1,000 copies, but Numero Group gladly decided to do a reissue of this one. The story about this record here and the cutout cover here with some faces behind bars is that the band on this album actually recorded this album whilst they were in jail. Yes, I think there were 5 or 6 members. This has to go fast, so I cannot tell you the whole story, and I honestly don't recall it at the moment entirely. But this was a band that came together in prison, 5 or 6 members, and somehow they they had written some songs. They didn't have recording equipment, obviously, in prison, but they were able to lease or to rent some recording equipment, and I think they had about 3 or 4 hours to do all of the songs on this album with no overdubs, no backing tracks, no nothing. And as soon as the last note was recorded, the prison directors or the prison guards said, "Okay, guys, back to your cell. You've spent all the time that we can give you." But The Edge of Daybreak, musically, this is not a revelation, but the story behind this album, there's a booklet inside that tells the whole story, is just amazing, and it's worth buying just for that story. Yeah, recorded in prison, The Edge of Daybreak, Eyes of Love. Thank you, Numero Group, for doing a reissue of this one. Okay, show a record that everybody has and one that no one has. Pink Floyd The Wall, a lot of people have this album. Let's just leave it at that. A record that not many people have, I think. This is another one of the few rare and valuable records in my collection, is this one, Susanne Mensel. And the album is Goodbyes and Beginnings. This is the first ever Danish ambient folky album ever to be released. This was released in 1981. This was, I think, self-released. It didn't, I don't think that it did well. It didn't sell well or anything, and it was, forgotten about until, some vinyl nerds just picked it up and started playing the songs from it, and then it became a rarity. Then the guy who plays Frodo in Lord of the Rings, whose name I always forget, and I have also forgotten it now. Anyways, he's a big vinyl freak, and he and his pal were touring the world, just doing DJ gigs. And he came to Copenhagen, went to a record store looking for this album, and he found it. He paid a shitload of money for it. This is like in an original copy like this one. This would be like $500 or $600, I would think, if not more. But he found it in Copenhagen. He showed it in a video online saying this is the album that everyone has to get, and then of course it became even more rare. A reissue was done of this album, and said finally this is being reissued, and now we can all have it. I did not know about this album. Went to a yard sale a few weeks later, found an original for less than $1. What are the odds? Small. But Susanne Mensel, Goodbyes and Beginnings, the very first ambient album maybe in Denmark ever. I don't know. I think it is. Yeah, but not many of you would have it. She is Great, a record by a female artist bought in 2023. This is Swedish singer Lucky Low, and her second album, released last year, called The Big Feel. Lucky Low is an amazing songwriter. She has a deep voice that at times gives you resemblance of the voice of Annie Lennox. I mean, she can go high, but she can also go very deep. Great songwriter. Lucky Low. Lucky and then L-O, and The Big Feel. A great album. I'm seeing her live in 3 weeks or something. I can't wait. Favorite video posted? I don't know. I did like 5 or 6 videos. None of them were very good or interesting. I don't know. Favorite video that I watched? I love watching videos from Massey and his Is the Music Stupid videos, and I think my favorite was Wankers in Music, because he just said it like it is. For example, Eric Clapton said that he was a complete tool, and I could not agree with you more. That would probably be it. Show a record you describe as a 90s classic. Underworld's Dub No Bass with My Head Man, the first album of Underworld Mark II, if you will. Before that, they released, I think, 3 albums of more synth pop stuff. This is the first like deep house, techno, just brilliant stuff. This is indeed a 90s classic, released in 1994. This is a reissue, of course, but yeah, that for me is a 90s classic. If I could walk into the cover, I would maybe do this one. This is Bob Hood. This is not a great cover, but I would just like to be a member of this band. Swedish band Bob Hood. This is their first. This is a reissue of their first ever release. This is the EP, self-titled EP from 1993. Reissue, as I said, from 2018. But I would love to have my head on this cover because these guys are freaking amazing. I saw them live at the Roskilde Festival in Denmark, and the singer, there was some delay on that stage because of some technical problems. So they ran a bit over time, and the band didn't want to leave the stage, but the guys, doing the festival said, "Guys, you have to leave because we're behind schedule." Then they had a talk, and the singer was very stern, saying, "We will play one more song." They got the go to play one more song, and then he turned to the audience and said, "Bob, when we'll play one more song, then you can all just fuck off and go to hell." Yes, my kind of band. Bob Hun, punk, indie, great band. Yeah, I would love to be in this band. I feel that I have maybe left out a question. I have. Which band artist did I listen the most to in 2023? And if you don't hate me already, you probably will now. The artist that I listened to the most last year was Taylor Swift. And this is her album Midnights, which I love. And I got the one of the Taylor's versions, the 1989 Taylor's version. I really, really love that album too. Yeah, Taylor Swift is the one that I listened to the most last year. Sorry, guys. And she also made that American football guy famous outside of the States. No one knew him around here, but I guess that there's you have the sport called football. I don't know. I'm kidding. Yeah, it's like a greatest hits. Show a record you're so familiar with. It feels like a greatest hits. Massive Attacks, Blue Lines, obviously again a reissue. This is just one of the most important albums for me, and I know every song, every word, every tone, every key, everything. Yeah, this is the greatest hits for me. There is not one bad song on this album. Yeah, Massive Attack, and that's my favorite Massive Attack album, by the way. Finally, an album released in 1974. My good buddy Tim from High Noons of Vinyl already showed Kraftwerk's Autobahn. This is the British cover, British release that originally did not feature the name Numi written on the cover, but some person called Numi decided that he or she wanted to write his or her name on the cover. So be it. Kraftwerk, Autobahn, Fan after Autobahn, and they did that in 1974. That's it. 28 minutes went way too long. Thank you. Hopefully I'll see you some more this year. I want to do more videos. Let's see if that happens or not. Take care. Bye bye.